Hello, beloved ones. Gaumutsime here, your freedom illuminator. I'm grateful as always to be here. And today I just wanted to come and share my heart with you and talk a bit about false power. False power. And like I said, an amazing being. I was just listening to this other amazing woman, and she said power to her is when strength meets vulnerability. And I was like, wow. Wow. I love that. And today I felt the need to talk about, at times it's an illusion, but it's a good illusion because if you really go deep with it and ask yourself, where is this coming from? Like when you talk about being powerful, I deserve, and all that, because at times it comes from the wounded self. You know, when you are angry with something and you go like, I've had enough and it's not going to happen anymore. I deserve better. And this is the question that I actually love to ask because I've realized that at times, even when you're in a relationship and you are betrayed or something happens, you say that. But you're saying, I deserve better. Is it followed by an action of someone who deserves better? Or you still go and do the same thing? You still go and attract the same kind of people? You still go and act like that poor me, powerless? Because it's happening. You're not aware of it. It's something that just happens because there is a need in you that gets satisfied by that toxicity. This is why if you read the post that was published in Clarity, how to stop attracting toxic men, it talks about that. What is it in you? And I know I've made lots of videos that talks about this. What is it in you that attract that kind of toxicity? I'm that woman who is standing before you who was very good in that. And if you really know me, when I talk about having 3 children, I've got 2 children with one guy. We're not married. And that need of really having children was coming from even me being born. Like there was a whole huge gap between me and my elder sisters. And a part of me just wanted to really have someone that was close, a sister that I could really talk to, not a sister who is acting up as a mother. And I didn't, the whole marriage thing and all that for me, it was just like, first thing, I didn't want kids. Still, it was a wounded self. And then I had kids and I had 2 kids 2 years difference. And there was a lot of story. Oh, she was not married, then she has these kids. And I was like, I don't want to have kids with different fathers. And exactly what I didn't want is what I had, because I have the 3rd child from the man who I was married to, who is now my ex. And when I look at the trait that I had with this kind of man, there was that inner child in me, which when I look at the relationship that I had with my ex-husband, he really gave that inner child what I really wanted when I was really broken, when I just needed to be loved. He just gave me fully that, but it was not fulfilling because I didn't come here to be a child. I am not that child anymore. There is a lot that is being called forth for me to do, but I cannot do it. Come out of that and then, oh, now I deserve better and all that. When I talk about information that's coming through, a lot of information that is coming through, which you can read from a book. What is a book telling you? You can read from a book. It's telling you what you're telling you. You hear what you hear from the filters of your wounds. And at times we take all this information with our heads and we go out there to say, yes, now I'm powerful and all that. Which space is it coming from? Is it something that you really embody? Even when you read about a list of boundaries, is it something that you can connect with and say, when a boundary is really crossed, this is how I feel. I'm feeling this in my body. These are the limits that I have. These are the boundaries that I'm setting, and this is what you can really articulate with someone. Or you just say that from the head, and even when your partner asks you, what is it that you really want? You can't even say it because you don't know what you really want. But you feel that you deserve. It's coming from many years of oppression. Like I said, it's a whole lot of mess that has been happening for generations. Now we are waking up. But if we wake up from that entitlement, we are not going to get our anyway. But we are, like I said, I work with men and women one-on-one, and I've been called to do this program because it's important for us women to really come from that empowered, open heart, really heart-centered space, so that we can support our men. When we have our divine masculine and feminine really integrated, we can support and help our men get in touch with that divine feminine, which for a long time has been oppressed in both of us. Because when we saw what was happening for us, we felt safe. We felt the divine feminine is not important. Therefore, we went for the divine masculine, and it was also not really the divine masculine. It was the toxic masculine, the toxic power, the toxic kind of strength. So today I wanted to talk about false power, because if you go with the information and really not really being in your body, not embody what you're really talking about, you're going to be coming from the head and your energy is going to say something else. Because I've read lots of books as well, but the transformation that really happened was when I started now healing, when I went through the initiations that I went through. And I didn't even do it on my own. There were times when I was guided. You have to find someone that you have to invest this much. The times it will just come like that, okay? And then the person shows up. I didn't do it on my own. And if you think, oh, I'll read a book, then you're gonna go and mess up the relationships that were meant to last longer, because you are coming from the space of unworthiness, but shielding it with this false positivity, false power that is really out there. And this is also the difference when you talk about, because I know I've got a lot of women in the Healing Fractured Families group. I've got lots of women who went through a lot of trauma, and some of them are therapists. But it's another thing when you help or hold space for people from that space of healed space, rather than from the space of oh, I'm getting triggered, oh, don't you dare do that. Because there was a time when I attended a session with someone, and this person was really getting triggered, and I'm just there holding space for her, and she's supposed to be holding space for me. And it was just interesting to watch. And she told me, I don't even know what you're doing here, because I don't think you need anything from me. I don't think I'm the kind of person who can help you, because you're talking about someone who read a book. You talk about someone who has been qualified, and of course she's been doing a lot of work, but she has not dealt with her own stuff. So every time when things are coming through, she can either hold space from that pretense to say, okay, fine, I'm just separating, I'm going to work from the black and white of what the book says. Or she can hold space from that person who knows I have been there and there is another way of being. And this is why I'm coming through, because this is not about men are bad, men are this. It's not against men. It's not for you to come from entitlement. This course that I'm talking about, this program that I'm taking you through, it's a program that is truly going to turn things around. When you come through unapologetic, it's you knowing what you really want. This is why I talk about purpose, your passion. Really, when you say, this is what I live, even what you're doing, you don't necessarily, because at times we are so much in our head, what you're doing, because right now there's a lot of things that you're doing, but you do not value them. And we are surprised when someone comes through and say, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? And you don't see yourself in anything. You don't see yourself bringing anything into the relationship, because a relationship is about giving and receiving, giving and receiving, giving and receiving. And until you value who you are and what you give, that's when you can see really your value in that relationship. What is it that you're giving? This is what I wanted to come and ask you. When you come with the whole I deserve better, where is it coming from? Is it coming from lack? I'm fed up, or it's coming from that knowing of who you really are? And when you talk about deserving better, you can really articulate it, and you can also hold the space for that partner of yours, because you know that's the human being that you're talking about. And you can really also serve them, like I talk about serving someone, really telling them rather than enabling behaviors that are destructive, because we are here to grow, we are here to evolve. And if you are just sitting there operating from that adaptive child, wounded child aspect, you are not really contributing. So there is just all the children coming through and triggering each other, and there's no one going anywhere. And then you go read a book, you come through with that book mindset to say, oh, I deserve better and you should treat me better. And he's coming through with his own adaptive wounded child, and it gets messy. And you mess up a relationship that you should have saved if you really went deep and healed your wound, so that when you come and sit, even when it comes to separation, you don't do it from, I hate you, I deserve better. One thing that I can tell you, even when I talk about my ex-partners, I love them. I love them so much, and I'm not afraid of really articulating that, and I don't care whether they're taking it in. I can tell them that I truly appreciate you, I truly love you. But it doesn't mean that kind of love, of attachment, of be this to me so that I can love you. No, it's just I love you and I want you to be who you really came here to be. And I call them out if I feel that something is not like, I don't want to say right or wrong, because if it's not serving me, I call them out. I'm not going to sit there and pretend. Probably it's something that serves them. But if it's not serving me, I'm not going to pretend, because I love them. As someone once asked me, where's the love? And I told them, this is the love that I'm giving you. I don't love you any less. I love you more. This is why I'm willing to be different and tell you how it feels, and tell you what has been stopping you from really being the amazing being that you are. And I'm telling you that you are amazing. But yes, there are some improvements that needs to be made. And I'm showing up here to tell you that you are amazing. You are a magnificent being. And we cannot really rise as women if we are coming from that false power, if we were coming from that power over, because it's not why we're here. We are powerful with our men. And I know that a lot of women, at times, we go through this healing process and then we shut off because we don't want to be hurt. We close ourselves off, yet we have some emotions. There is a lot that we still want to experience, but we are afraid of being hurt. It's a solo journey, yet within your emotions and all your humanness is telling you something else. Which is something that at times when I was really frustrated, there was a time I was like, probably I should be a nun. I think aspects of me that were once a nun really thought that would really give me what I need, but that was the frustrated me. But there were other sensual parts of me that was like, I can imagine if I live without, I cannot imagine life. It was just a part of me that was really frustrated and yeah, I felt betrayed. But now I'm at peace. I love where I am. I love men. And I want you to come from that aspect of really being in love, opening your heart and knowing what you really want, and knowing that whatever that you say you deserve, you are in a space to also give it to the other person so that they can be the better version of themselves, rather than I deserve from that empty space of wanting to get, because I'm so pissed off. I've given everything. I've given my life. Now it's time to get everything. We don't operate like that. And if you feel like it's time, if you feel like you want to be that kind of woman who is really showing up, claiming that divine power from that space of worthiness, and knowing you really embody it, not from the mind. Click the link and let's have a conversation. I cannot wait to serve you. Much love. Bye-bye. Much love. Or no.